Many souls have contributed to country music in the last century. The company is more exclusive when you talk about the performers, musicians, and songwriters who, if you removed their work from the country music canon, the genre would take on a decidedly different and often not as compelling or significant aspect. The towering songwriting legacy of Troy Seals is one of those exclusive individuals. Marvel that it's the same man who wrote or co-wrote the songs Who's Gonna Fill Their Shoes by George Jones, We Had It All by Waylon Jennings, 10 Feet Away by Keith Whitley, and Seven Spanish Angels, which became the biggest #1 country hit for Ray Charles when he recorded it with Willie Nelson in 1985, and it went on to be nominated for the CMA Song of the Year. Overall, Troy Seals wrote 11 #1 hits and 30 top 10s. Troy Seals was a seminal songwriter to country music's outlaw movement. He helped launch Conway Twitty's massive commercial run from the songwriting position, and would go on to become so revered as a wordsmith, his songs would be recorded well outside of the country realm by folks like the Rolling Stones, Aretha Franklin, Joe Cocker, Three Dog Night, and the New Riders of the Purple Sage. Eric Clapton had a hit in 1983 with Troy's I Got a Rock and Roll Heart. But country music was the compass point for Troy Seals, and where he made a name for himself, and helped make a name for others while his name remained in the fine print of the liner notes. Born in Madison County, Kentucky on November 16, 1938, Troy's family moved to Cincinnati when he was 11, and he began performing professionally by the age of 17. Seals didn't start out to be a songwriter, but a performer and a musician. His extended family included Jim Seals of Seals and Crofts fame, Brady Seals of Little Texas, Dan Seals, or Dan England, songwriter Chuck Seals who wrote Crazy Arms, and Johnny Duncan. Early on, Seals met and eventually married rockabilly performer Joanne Campbell. The two recorded songs together and performed on American Bandstand and other programs. When Campbell retired, Troy Seals went to work in construction. They moved to Nashville in 1969, and while building the city's famed quadraphonic studio on Music Row, Seals caught the music bug again and started pursuing work as a session musician. As the outlaw sound started to take over Nashville, Troy Seals wrote many of the movement's most important songs. Sammy Smith recorded Troy's first top 40 hit with Girl in New Orleans. Though We Had It All by Waylon Jennings wasn't a big chart hit, it became beloved throughout music, with Dolly Parton and even Tina Turner recording versions of it. It was really Troy's work with Conway Twitty in the mid-70s and into the early 80s that turned both into hit machines. Twitty had #1s with There's a Honky Tonk Angel, Don't Take It Away, Redneck and Love Makin' Night, Fallin' for You for Years, and numerous songs from the Conway Twitty Loretta Lynn catalog like Feelin's and I Can't Love You Enough. Some of the other names who recorded Troy Seals songs include Charlie Pride, Alabama, David Allan Coe, Johnny Rodriguez, Merle Haggard, Reba McEntire, Glenn Campbell, Ronnie Millsap, Gene Watson, Hank Williams Jr., and the Oak Ridge Boys. His extended resume of contributions led to his induction into the Nashville Songwriters Hall of Fame in 1988. Troy Seals was also a recording artist and released a handful of singles and albums. He perhaps put together a strong enough resume to be considered for the Country Music Hall of Fame someday. But when he passed away on March 6th, at the age of 86, the news didn't even make it out to the public, let alone to the press. It took Robert Orman breaking the news on April 1st before the public was made aware. Troy Seals was one of those songwriters that did major work in the shadows. Through George Jones, Troy compelled us to ask, who's going to fill their shoes when it comes to country legends who pass on? Now we must ask that same question about Troy Seals himself.